guys, I got my invitation to try out GPT-4's API last month, and I had just finished up a big contract that I was working on. I do SEO consulting full time. Now I have a little bit of time on my hands, and I've been wanting to do YouTube for a while. So I'm thinking, what better way to start than to look at some AI-powered SEO software development. I mean, this is just the kind of stuff that I'm into. Actually, this is a good starting point. So whenever I take on new contracts, I have what I call an SEO portfolio. And it contains everything about their project, all their deliverables, everything we need for any web development, schema, etc. And then I've got this project tracker where it handles new, say, tasks, a link manager for backlinks, and this was new, the content manager, up until February, I want to say. From 2020, or from July 2020, whenever I finally went off on my own, up until February last year, I just didn't do any kind of content development at all for SEO because I didn't want to build a content team. I really didn't want to do anything with it. I would create briefs, and what happened was I started to experiment around with GPT, and I made a... Is this going to work? Okay. Yeah, so I made a GPT app that basically generates blog ideas, creates the outline, creates the title, the meta description, and then generates relevant keywords. And I get that all to I click this button, and the topic gets added in, the outline gets added in, and it's in HTML format, or just the headings anyway. And then a brief gets made, a content brief gets made, and it gets set up to actually make a web page. It's pretty interesting. Now, content development is something pretty common that folks are using. GPT-4, but that's just scratching the surface. Looking at GPT-4, let's just say, like, this is what I had used. No, I don't even think I was using GPT 3.5 Turbo. I think I was using the DaVinci model. I think this was the one. Yeah, because this is Chat GPT. Anyways, the whole point is there's a token limit, which has to do with, it's like every 3 or 4 characters, not words, but characters, is one token. And so this is very, very limited, and this is your prompt. So what you send to GPT, and what you get back, those combined cannot exceed this 4096, or you're going to hit an error. And so this GPT-4 32K, this is over 32,000 tokens. Jesus Christ, 4 times the content length of GPT-4, which GPT-4, it's doubled the amount of tokens. Now the pricing's not cool. It's 6 cents per 1,000 tokens for the prompt, so that's what you send to GPT, and then 12 cents for completion, so what you get back. So you're looking at 18 cents per 1,000 tokens. This might not be an issue depending on, I don't know, it just depends on if we need to use this or not. But like what I'm wanting to do anyway is look at the different ways that this can be used for SEO in the context of what I'm already doing with my clients. So actually, this entire portfolio here, this gets made, I've got a script that programmatically makes these portfolios and all the documents that's needed. with, I'm not going to run it because it's in here, it's in this war machine, it's got some sensitive information. Actually, we can take a look at that. So in Upwork clients, I actually have no clients right now in Upwork. So this is completely clean. Let's go to the war machine. I will edit this out. Now I have new SEO portfolio. I click on this button and it's running a script. So yeah, while the script's running, I make my own tools, especially pieces of automation that can make something manual and tedious and just automate that away. That saved me from having to hire anyone. What would be perfection to me is to be able to provide the highest quality SEO work to whoever I work with, but then not have to worry about managing a team, so that way I can kind of I just don't have as much overhead as a traditional, say, agency, and I'd give much better quality of work. So inside of Upwork, there we go. This says client. So I just swapped this out the client's name, but it's got everything that I need in there, all my templates, everything. So that's what that looks like. But my point is, there are steps that get taken. There are steps that get taken. One of the things that I do is, say, like, this is one of my clients here, say I'll do an SEO audit, so I've got like a pass or fail checklist. Part of the audit is, so I use Screaming Frog, Ahrefs, SEMrush, I think that's it. Yeah, and my own, say, math to do some counting referring domains out of the different backlinks, and then getting what keywords are in the top 100, top 50, top 20. I've got my own script to kind of parse out the SEMrush information. Point being is, all this stuff gets added. I have all of my clients' pages, and I go through and I categorize them, and then I have the different actions that I would take on them, and then my little notes section here. Now, point being is, I think that this can be automated. I think this can be automated, the categorizing or classifying the pages. One of the other things I do is assess if it's in the top navigation or if it's in the footer, and I know that something can be made to extract the navigation URLs, the footer URLs, and and I think that I can create an expert system to be able to figure out what needs to be done as far as high-level actions are concerned, so it can actually help me audit with intelligence. And I think that it can train on, say, my documentation that I have to actually be able to learn how to make certain decisions in certain scenarios. Because there's this thing called LangChain that has these different document loaders, and I've seen people use, say this is HTML, say that I've got my documentation in an HTML doc, and then ingest that to train on that data. Maybe it's not training, but it's taking into context the information in order to take actions. And I think that we can use LangChain or something like how LangChain works to help conduct audits, help classify pages, help with almost any aspect of SEO that I'm doing that hasn't been automated, just because I felt like a human being needs to be behind the guns here, that you couldn't automate this. But I've been changing my mind. Like the content, like what we've been looking at here, this content development, this is only scratching the surface. there's a whole other world here. Like one of the first tools that I've ever made was there we go. This should be, yep. Okay, one of the first tools that I've ever made was this anchor text classifier, and it will, you put in your URL and the keyword, and it'll get all this information, variations, etc. Like the details of this stuff isn't important. The whole idea is it classifies the anchor text, and it helps me make a decision on how many links we need to order for what given page to be like competitive. Anyways, this right here, like the anchor text classification itself, this can be a lot more granular. Like this thing can catch things that you can't do programmatically. Like if you're trying to see if an anchor text is branded, say, like I had it marked as other, like branded, generic, etc., because there's no way for me to programmatically figure out which class this belongs to. But say that, I don't know, OpenAI is my client, and I'm wanting to find branded links that have like OpenAI in there. There may be misspellings like OPN space AI. Like that would still be like a misspelled but like branded term. Actually, yeah, whatever. You get the idea. You can really get granular with the classification here, and like shit, man. I would like to do keyword research. I loathe that step of the process. Like I really do. It is the bane of my existence. But there's tons of different things that can be done with OpenAI's GPT. Well, just plenty of their models, plenty of the different models, and use that in combination with SEO to build some really cool stuff. And that is what I'm going to be looking into today. So I think I'm going to end this video here, and I will make another one as soon as I figure out what the hell I'm going to do. So I've got all this new time on my hands. All right, peace.